I don't think there's any denying that this has been a really good start to the season. Best in 24 years, I think, actually, isn't it? And I think as well, what people forget is that we've had actually out of the first 4 games we've played, which of course we've won 3 and drawn 1, 3 of those games were away. So it's been really impressive. I've got to say, though, this international break has come such a rubbish time. And it's just not what you want, is it? And it's typical as well when we get these breaks. There always seems to be sort of issues, fitness and things like that. So hence why we're doing this video. But like I was saying, great start to the season. However, you get the feeling that the next 2 games are going to be the real test to sort of give us the indication of where West Ham really are this season. Man City at home, obviously up next, then followed by Liverpool away. We could easily lose those 2 games. We know that, but I feel like if we can get something, or at least, not necessarily we're going to go and win both games, but if we could at least go and get maybe 2 points out of that, maybe 3 or something like that, that would be really, really exciting. But look, we might have to wait and see. But the thing is, going into these games, we're going to need our full strength squad available. You feel it's something we're going to need desperately. And this is what this video is about. It's giving some updates actually on the fitness of players and where we are at the moment. So let's start with the main one at the moment that's been sort of a big question mark hanging over us, has been James Ward-Prowse. So the situation is that James Ward-Prowse missed last week. He picked up an injury basically in training and was sent home, and it was described as very minor, and it was described as a knock. Now the concern was certainly raised for myself was on Monday. So James Ward-Prowse was apparently due back for training on Monday, however didn't feature. He wasn't there due to this injury, which, let's be honest, is not great. And considering the fact as well that we've signed this player who's had such a fantastic impact. I think he's had 3 assists in one goal in his first 3 matches at West Ham, which is amazing. So very, very good player, and also played very well as well. On top of that, not just he's doing that, but he's very good on the ball. So a vital player for us already. But if you look back at what I was thinking, so my point was that you go back to his injury history record at Southampton, and it's impeccable. Like he's unbelievable. He's rarely ever injured. So it felt like, here we go, typical West Ham, isn't it? That we're going to get this player in. He's been so good for us, and then straight away he's got injured. So, but we do have an update on this. As I say, he got to pick up the injury last week at training, missed Monday because of it, and all the players were actually rested on Tuesday and returning today to training. Now, we've had it confirmed by ex-WHU employee that the player, James Ward-Prowse, was at training today and took part in full session, and he is likely now to be available for the Man City game, which is absolutely massive. Let's be honest, that is a huge boost for us going into that game, because we need our best players available. No 2 ways about it. I'm just delighted. I mean, to be honest with you, a part of me was I did think that would be the case because of the fact it was described as minor and nothing really to worry about. But the fact he missed Monday did make me think, I really hope that. I didn't think it was a serious injury, but I thought, I hope it doesn't mean it's going to hamper him for Saturday. But it doesn't appear that's the case. So as long as he doesn't now pick up any more injuries in training ahead of the weekend, then James Ward-Prowse will be available, which is a huge boost, let's be honest. And yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that. On to Vladimir Coufal. Now, that's the one. There's a few question marks over this injury. So basically, what we know of this is that he picked up a small injury, typical, going away on international duty with the Czech Republic. He picked up a small injury at training, and he missed their match. I believe it was on Sunday. They played Hungary on Sunday, and they drew 1-1. And he missed that game. He didn't even travel, and in fact stayed in the Czech Republic for treatment. So. And he has, and that's all we've got on this. So, I think X is going to provide an update on the situation. But as I said, much like the Ward-Prowse one, it was described as minor and not much to be too concerned about. But the fact he's already not back at West Ham, has been away having treatment, and now we're at Thursday already. Tomorrow we're playing Saturday. It does shed some doubt, doesn't it, on Coufal and whether he's going to be available. Now, that's the one injury I'd probably say is that it's not ideal. I'm absolutely not saying it's ideal. I rate Coufal, but the fact is we've got Thilo Kehrer who can dive in there at right back does make me think, okay, it's not the end of the world. We should be able to cope, but ideally we want him back. I mean, as I say, for the City game in Liverpool, you really want your strongest side available, your best team players available. So it would be a blow, but something I think we could manage. And it's not the end of the world, but we'll hopefully get a bit more update on that. I think X is going to provide an update, as I say, on Patreon regarding the Soufal injury. But well, from what we understand, it is minor, so I don't think we need to be too concerned about it. The last one is Edson Alvarez. Now, Edson Alvarez isn't injured. In fact, he played today. He played in a 3-3 draw today, and it was Atlanta. He's played in America, Atlanta, Georgia, for Mexico. Now, he was subbed off in that game, by the way, so he didn't play the full game. No injury issue. The problem we've got with this is that the player is now due to fly back from America to get back in England. Now, that means he's not going to be training tomorrow, as I understand it. So that's going to be Thursday, no training. And with a view, I imagine, that he will then be returned to training on Friday. Which, let's be honest, it's just, as I've said, these international breaks are a real pain because that's not what we need. He's a key player already. He's already showing that. And we need him against Man City. We're going to need him. My gut feeling is if he's available, that he'll play. I think that's got to be the full of thumb, I think, for all of these players, really. If they're available, they've got to get them in. So it's not going to be ideal, though, the player flying, a long distance flight. I mean, it took him, 10 hours the day before, then back training Friday, then for the game Saturday. But as I say, there's no injury there. So it looks a little bit touch and go with him, doesn't it? Whether Moyes is going to believe that he's fit enough to play. I mean, this is just my gut feeling that if he's not injured, he'll play. That's what I think. That's how important he already is to us. Much like Ward-Prowse, you just think we need him in. We can't be risking against Man City at all. So look, overall, I'd say this is a pretty positive update, really. And especially James Ward-Prowse. I mean, it's incredible, really, the impact he's already had at the club. And it's crazy, isn't it, to think. There's a few things with Ward-Prowse. It's one, to think that there were downts. There was a few people thinking, not sure, is he going to be any good? Is this worth it? Which is, remarkable considering how well he's already done. And two, how, for the price we got him for and the fact there was no competition. It is surprising. Like X and Dave were saying on the podcast, I think a lot of it leans to the fact of his age, turning 29, I think, later this year. But ultimately, who cares? He's proven to be such an astute signing. So, no, I'm overall, I'm really pleased, actually. As I say, it's just these bloody international breaks. They're so frustrating, especially these ones when they come right at the beginning of the season. We've just got a bit of momentum now. We've got a great start, and straight away we've had to have like a 2-week break. And now we've got potentially a few couple of injuries. But as I say, on the face of it, from what the information we've got, I would say that Ward-Prowse and Alvarez will be available. I can't see what Moyes dropping either of those players if they are fit enough. They're not injured. I just can't see it. So, that's where we are. Look, the situation isn't ideal in terms of these international breaks. Everyone has to go through them. It's one of those things. But as I've said, if I'm David Moyes and these players are not injured and can play, then whether they're jet lagged or not, I'd have them in.